Matt Cain with Jeff Francis, of all people, leading the assault. 7 runs later, Francis had more than enough for his 15th win, and Cain was looking for therapy. Tuesday night, the Rockies spotted the Giants a 5-1 head start, but then Giants were being dismissed from the game right and left. Colorado added to their anger when Brad Hopp won it in the bottom of the ninth. Game 3 in this curious series is next. Overcast over Coors Field, but the Rockies, to a man, are in a great mood as they are now 6 games above 500, looking to sweep the San Francisco Giants tonight. And welcome upstairs with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies, a come-from-behind victory last night. Their 41st of the season. That leads all of baseball. They spotted the Giants a 4-run lead. No problem.
They just want to make it fair. They've already done this 9 times more than they did last year in 2006. And last night it was just another guy in Brad Hopp getting the base hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. This team is not afraid to fall behind and then come back, but that's part of the growing process. 8 out of their last 10 wins and 10 out of their last 13 overall wins have been come from behind victories. That just goes to show you the maturity that this club has.
Let's not forget the bullpen last night. Morales goes just 3 innings. The bullpen 6 shutout innings, allowed just 3 hits. Tonight they'll send Ubaldo Jimenez to the hill. I get really excited when he pitches.
And why not? I mean, this guy has that electric arm, and you should be excited when he goes to the mound. His first couple starts were a little shaky, but since his last 4, he has just been outstanding. You saw the numbers there: 2.0, 1.69 ERA. Opponents just are really having a chance against this guy. Live fastball, very, very hard slider, as you can see right there, and then the big curveball. So it's nice to see this guy mature right before our very eyes, right out on the hill.
Filthy slider.
Filthy.
Dirty slider.
Whatever adjective you want to use.
Nasty.
It's a lot of those.
It's a lot of those. He's a lot of fun to watch. Rockies hoping to sweep the San Francisco Giants tonight. Come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. Tonight's ball game presented in FSN high definition in HD on Comcast channel 664 with the sound effects. Well, both teams had to hit indoors. The beauty of modern stadiums, not bad hitting indoors.
Oh, not with the facilities here at Coors Field. Other places aren't so nice. You'd rather hit out on the field, but here they're some of the best in all of baseball.
Well, the San Francisco Giants tonight have shaken up their lineup a little bit. Randy Wynn hit in his last 11 games, hitting over 400. He'll be in the 3-hole. In front of him, Ray Durham, who's been watching a lot lately. He's been in a season-long slump. Nate Shearholtz will be in right field. He hits from the left side. Then Bonds, Klesko, so 5 straight lefties. Benji Molina, Pedro Feliz, the switch-hitting Omar Vizquel in the 8-hole, and then Kevin Correa. So early respect being given Ubaldo Jimenez from Bruce Bochy. And the first pitch of the ballgame swung on and missed. This is the Giants' first look at Ubaldo Jimenez. See Durham's numbers way below his career marks. And that fastball on the ground is short. That's a 7-Eleven hop, convenience store hop, 1 out.
Let's take a look at our Fidelity pitching report. Ubaldo, his 10th start of the year. This is the first time, you mentioned it, facing the Giants. No decision in his last outing against Arizona, 6 2/3. He loves Coors Field here. The last 2 starts, Ubaldo was 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA and just 3 pitch command: fastball, slider, changeup. Tonight's scouting report is brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Call 1-800-FIDELITY to schedule your complimentary appointment today.
Rockies saw Shearholtz on Monday night. He's getting a start tonight. Hits a flare to left center field, and Willie lays out and he goes off his glove. And Holiday will throw it in. Shearholtz goes to second. I'm sure they'll score that a double. Ball was tailing away from Willie Taveras. Willie laid out, and he had the baseball. You can tell he's a little upset.
Well, I thought we were going to have an identical play that we had last night with Corey Sullivan diving. Tonight, looks like Willie overdove this just a little bit. Went right off the end of his glove, where his pinky finger is. I'm sure Willie'd like to have that one back. He made a heck of an effort to get over there. Anytime you dive and it goes off your glove, you sure feel like you should have had it.
Randy Wynn has swung the bat well all year, particularly in this series. A couple of home runs. He's driven in 4. He fouls the first pitch off. So as they did last night with Franklin Morales, the Giants are not real patient.
No, they're just going right after him. They don't want to fall behind. They're trying to hit something else besides the fastball. Every single guy up there so far has taken a whack at the first pitch.
And that pitch misses. 1-1. Home plate umpire tonight is Gary Darling. Larry Poncino at first. Travis Reiniger is at second. Jerry Meals at third. That pitch shouldn't have been delivered. No. The reason I said that is Tulowitzki broke for the bag. He was expecting Ubaldo to pick.
Well, and Troy, you can see him pat to his chest. That was his fault because he as a shortstop, you have to realize when the pitcher is going to throw home. And if he doesn't come to you, you got to yell step off or get back to your position immediately.
1-2 on Wynn. Fastball, and it's hit in the air to Taveras in center field. Actually, that was a changeup. Here are the gloves this evening. Holiday, Taveras, and Hop in the outfield. Atkins, Tulowitzki, Matsui, and Helton in the infield. And Torrealba's behind the plate tonight. 104 double plays from Troy Tulowitzki that he's been a part of most among any big league shortstop. Barry Bonds with first base open.
I know what you're going to say. You pitch to him or you walk him.
You know what? It's early in the game, and Jimenez has great stuff. Bonds has never seen him. Go after him.
Why not?
That pitch at 99, he went around. So Barry getting a read on Ubaldo Jimenez. Jamie Quirk acting manager tonight. Clint Hurdle serving a 1-game suspension for an argument a few days ago. And this ball is in the air to left field, and it's drifting out of play. That fastball at 96. Here's the incident in Arizona that got Clint the suspension. This is in the 9th inning. Rockies would come back and win this ball game, but Clark was off the base, and you can see there. And Jerry Lane and Clint really got into it, and Clint inadvertently bumped him, and therefore you're automatically going to get suspended.
Yeah, it's just one of the rules in baseball.
0-2, and the fastball's fouled off. That one at 99. Last outing, Jimenez hit 102. He had 2 other pitches that were clocked at 100. And we talked to Jerry DiPoto, assistant general manager with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He had another gun going. He said, yep, we had 101, 100, 100.
Yeah, well, when you have 2 or 3 guns that hit that, you know he was there at the mark.
Goes to the slider at 89. 1-2.
I like that pitch after throwing Barry 3 straight fastballs at 99 miles an hour. You don't want to give him a chance to start to gauge the pitch.
Doesn't matter how hard it is, though. Nope. You better locate with Bonds.
Even at his age.
Yeah, he's seen now a few pitches. And this is left up, and it's hit to left field and deep. Holiday going back. Matt is not going to get it. You know, Matt's complaining that a fan interfered. He's not going to get this call because he never leaped. It's a 2-run home run for Bonds, and that's what I mean. You got to locate with him. He gets a feel. And that pitch was up.
Well, that's part of the problem. Another 99-mile-an-hour fastball. I talked about not giving Barry the opportunity to start to gauge the pitch. And that ball was up by the letters, right up in that area right there, but he was still able to get on top of it and just strong enough to drive it out. Matt calling for it. Well, that's a tough call from that angle to see if the fan did reach over.
I honestly think you would have had a discussion if Matt leaped. For something happened that caused, you could see he put his head down as if he thought, I don't know what he thought. I can't get in his head, but he reacted like the fan was going to interfere somehow with him. And had he leapt, who knows if interference would have been called. 2-run home run, number 762 for Bonds. It's 2-0 Giants. The play-by-play of tonight's ball game is also available in Espanol using the SAP function on your television. So Barry Bonds hits number 762. Honestly, I think Jimenez got a little macho there. He said, I want to beat him with high heat, and it's hard to do against that guy, even at 43. Let's take a look at the Rockies lineup. Clint Hurdle made out the lineup card earlier. He is not managing the club, as we mentioned. Jamie Quirk is, though. Taveras and Matsui up front. Then Holiday, Helton, and Atkins in the middle. Hop had the game winner yesterday. Tulowitzki, who had a home run yesterday, his 20th of the year. Check it, his 19th of the year. And then Torrealba and Jimenez. And the first pitch from Kevin Correa is in there for a strike.
Well, this is not an unusual spot for Jamie. He's had to do it before. He has a lot of valuable experience being the bench guy.
High throw and safe at first. Klesko says he got the tag down, but the first base umpire, Larry Poncino, felt that Taveras reached the bag. That's probably going to be an error on Omar Vizquel, and he makes an error about once every year.
Yeah, that would be his 9th there if they do put it down as that. Just a routine ground ball to shortstop off the bat of Willie Taveras. Omar had to go to his left just a little bit, spin and make the throw. You just don't see Omar make the high throw very often. Well, Willie's right foot got in there before Klesko could come down and make the tag. He might have got him on the chest before that foot hit the bag. But you have to remember where Larry Poncino is. He's behind this. He's back about 10, 12 feet behind the bag, so his angle, all he sees is the foot.
So Willie at first, and here is Matsui. And that's in there for a strike. Well, the Rockies have the Giants right where they want them, down 2-0.
Behind, yeah. And
you
been in this situation,
8 of the last 10 wins for Colorado have been in the come-from-behind fashion, including last night when they fell behind 5-1.
Already, Kevin Correa is doing a better job than either Matt Cain or Tim Lincecum did last night, trying to hold runners on. He's using the slide step to make sure that Willie doesn't get a jump at first base. And Kevin won't bring that front knee, his left one up very high.
Kaz had a big hit yesterday in the 8th inning to drive in the tying run. And then the Rockies won it in the bottom of the 9th on Hop single.
Well,
that was an organizational win last night, not just a club win. It was an organizational win. I mean, you had Joe Kashansky earning a walk. You had Ryan Spire up throwing 2 innings of shutout baseball. Correa strikes out Matsui, 1 gone.
Take a look at the Fidelity starting pitching numbers for Kevin Correa. His 55th game this year, but only his 4th start in 07. Since moving back into the rotation on August 25th, Kevin's 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA. Elevate the fastball. He uses his sinker a lot, but patience. The Rockies have done a great job the last couple nights making the starting pitching for the Giants. They'll throw a lot of pitches.
Up high to Holiday.
Tonight's scouting report was brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Call 1-800-FIDELITY to schedule your complimentary appointment today.
Matt hitting .375 at home this year. 18 of his 25 home runs have come here at Coors Field. Willie started to go, shut it down pretty quickly. It's 2-0.
And that was wise. Anytime a pitcher slide steps like that, a lot of time what you'll see too is a fastball that's elevated, but you just can't get the jump. And Benji Molina this year has thrown out 27% of the runners that attempted to steal off him.
There he goes, up high. Molina's throw to second is not in time. Slide step, pretty quick release by Molina, and you still didn't get Willie.
Well, that just shows you how fast Willie is. 31st stolen base of the year. Got a pretty good jump. Correa lifted his leg just a little bit higher that time. That caused him to be a little bit longer to the plate.
Got a great pitch to throw on Molina. It was up.
Yeah, and a nice tag from Vizquel. But notice where Willie slides to. He slides to the outside part of the bag.
It's a pop-up for Klesko. That's the second out. It'll bring up Helt. Giants gloves tonight. Bonds win in center field. He's played left one game, right one game, and now center field. Nate Scherholtz is out there in right. Feliz, Vizquel, Durham, and Klesko. So a new right side for the Giants. First time we've seen Klesko and Durham in the starting lineup in this series. Rockies had 2 lefties going in the first 2 ball games, and Molina's caught every game. Helton's on fire right now as he comes up. Todd's got the average up to .311, the highest it's been in quite some time. They never did get him out yesterday. 3 for 3 and 2 walks for Helt.
And that ball that he drove for the double to left field. Now his power stroke is back a little too.
Came close to hitting that out. Two balls and a strike. Helton at .293 with runners in scoring position. Hitting .321 against right-handed pitching. .288 left on left. And this ball's pulled foul. Todd is 2 doubles away from setting another major league record. He has 33 doubles, so if he hits 35, which you know he will.
Could happen tonight.
Yeah. He will be the first player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of 35+ doubles.
First. That's pretty impressive.
Anytime you're first, yeah. It's a good thing. Only time you're on one of those lists where you're the only guy or there's only a couple others, that's pretty good as well. This is popped up foul and out of play. See, that was a good pitch by Correa,
yeah.
and that's the one you want to spoil because that's the one that you're going to make outs.
Yeah, it's tough to hit. You're going to pop it up 9 times out of 10. Todd was able to foul it back. I've seen the ball elevated so much more tonight off of Correa than he did in his last outing. In his last outing, 18 outs that he had, 11 were ground ball outs. There's another one that he's able to foul off. Not a bad pitch from Correa. Change up away. Todd just spoils it the other way. Correa, that's what he has. He has 3 pitches. Fastball, 89 and 95 miles an hour. slider 85 to 89, and a changeup 80 to 83. 3-pitch pitcher.
Two. And this one is popped up and playable. Shearhold's coming on. And the Rockies leave Taveras at second base. 2-0 San Francisco on Barry Bonds' 762nd home run.
Well, welcome back, top of the second. Hey, let's take a look at tonight's keys to the ball game. First off, keep the Giants down. Giants have lost 5 out of the last 6. Continue the offense 1 through 9. And then use that Coors Field magic. The Rockies have won 5 straight at home. Pretty impressive. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Burt Toyota. Sound the alert. Nobody but Burt.
Here we go, top of the second inning. Benji Molina to lead it off. 279 average, and Molina takes the fastball down low. Baldo in his last start, no decision at Arizona, went 6 2/3, allowed 3 runs on just 3 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. He had a 2-hitter going when Miguel Montero lifted a fly ball that got out to left field. I mean, he had no-hit stuff that day.
Well, think about that. Those 3 runs were scored with 2 outs in that inning. He hit the guy, or excuse me, walked the guy and then hit the guy, and then Montero took him deep. Up until that point, though, electric stuff.
Slider, and Molina didn't swing, so it's 3-1. Fastball on the ground, a second. Good play by Kaz Matsui on the backhand side.
Made that play look easy.
That'll bring up Pedro Feliz. If you have a break in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason.
So far in this series, the Rockies have kept Pedro Feliz in check. There you go.
That was a wise statement, wasn't it, Huey? Next time you have a hey, Huey, listen. Next time you have a thought coming at you, duck.
I no sooner got that out than there was a line drive to center field.
I just knew it. Thankfully, he didn't hit it out.
Yes.
I did that last night.
Yes,
who
you did.
Who did I do that to?
Well, I'll remember. Don't worry.
I beat you up enough for that one. One out, Omar Vizquel steps in. And that's on the inside corner for a strike. I think one of the things Jimenez is learning is how to adjust to pitching at Coors Field. You don't see him use the curveball much here. He goes more to the slider. And so far in this game, there was a changeup. We haven't seen the great run on his fastball. He's got the 99-mile-an-hour heater. We've seen that, but a lot of times he'll have a lot of run on it.
Yeah, tonight's a little straighter, but he will use that slider a lot more here just because it's a shorter, sharper break.
Center field, Willie Taveras has to retreat. And that'll bring up Correa.
Talk about Ubaldo, and first thing you want to know is how's the guy going to react when he has to come out here and pitch all the time at Coors Field. Ubaldo has answered that so far, that he's not intimidated here. His numbers are actually better at Coors Field than they are on the road.
Correa, former 4th-round pick of the Giants back in 2002. And there was a hit and the man left. Pedro Feliz, the man left on board. We go to the bottom of the second inning. The Giants lead it 2-0 on the Bonds 2-run home run. Tonight's Hyundai Cam replays brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers, giving Honda and Toyota a run for their money and saving you thousands. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Here we go, bottom of the second. Atkins, Hoppe, and Tulowitzki. Rockies down 2-0 to Kevin Correa. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. And Atkins takes one down the middle for a strike. Garrett last night, a single and a walk. He struck out the other 3 times. 2 for 6 so far in the series. And he stays off the slider.
2 for 6 is kind of in line with what he's done since June 13th, hitting .319. 72 RBIs during that time.
And the slider, he got him out in front just enough that it went toward the end of the bat instead of the meat of the bat, and it's an easy out. Well, the art of throwing off the timing just a smidgen. That's what pitching's all about. As Brad Hoppe steps up, well, he was cool, calm, and collected, or at least the outcome of his at-bat appeared that he was cool, calm, and collected. He kind of smiled when we suggested that after the ball game, but he has been so clutch this year for the Rockies.
He looked like he was. There was no big deal. You didn't see a big, heavy sigh out of him. We're up here nervous. You're jumping up and down.
Absolutely.
Brad's just, okay, just throw it over there. I'll get a base hit. We'll go home.
One thing Correa has done very well so far in this ball game is get strike one.
Well, this helps because this is his 3rd start since moving into the rotation. So he's had that ability now to figure out what he needs to do in between starts.
Again, a changeup. It's 1 and 2.
Well, the 6 batters he's faced tonight, four times he's had first pitch strikes. You work ahead like that, then you can bring in your other pitches, your slider, your changeup, and then spot your fastball.
Trying to spot the fastball there on the outside corner is off the plate. 2 and 2.
Correa, we mentioned it, is in the rotation because Russ Ortiz had to leave because of inflammation in his elbow. Come to find out, he has to have Tommy John surgery. Going to miss all of next year. Hopes to be back pitching in 2009.
That's a tough break for any player, but particularly for a guy like Ortiz that was very close to being out of the game.
Yep.
And he had a resurrection to a certain degree of his career this year, and now he's going to be out till 09. Fouled back by Hoppe.
Typically it takes 12 to 14 months to come back from that injury, so even if he has surgery within the next week, you're looking at the end of August of next year before he could get back into the games at the earliest.
And this is roped to center field, a base hit. Rockies first of the night. Nice at bat for Hoppe. And you know what? That was simple. 2 strikes, stayed in the middle of the field, didn't try to do too much with it.
You know, and we use all those terms, but that simplifies what hitting really is. If he tries to go out and hook this changeup that Correa threw that is working away from him, you're just going to roll it over 4-3 to Ray Durham. Instead, he stays back through the middle of the box and then just dumps it into center field, much like his swing last night to win the ball game.
Tulowitzki, who hit his 19th last night, and he takes high ball 1. Here's the big fly from last night. One of the things that's so impressive about Tulowitzki, and there's a long list of things, is that he can hit the ball out legitimately in any park to all fields.
Well, that's one thing he's learning too.
And this ball down the left field line, and it is foul. It's got a little bit of hook on it.
And that was going to be my point, that he's learned how to turn on that ball that's inside on him. That's one thing you have to learn as a young hitter. If you can go the other way, that's great, but then the clubs are going to start working in on you. You're going to have to learn how to pull the ball. And he did. That one hooked just a little bit too much, about 3 feet foul.
plate. Correa throws it in the dirt. Klesko, who's not exactly a magician with the glove, came up with it.
Klesko's laughing about it. Little number out in front of the plate. We saw a hop take off. Benji Molina telling Correa where to throw the baseball. It was just one of those things as a first baseman, you throw your glove out there and hopefully it goes in, because Klesko's head wasn't anywhere close to being down, and probably might even had his eyes closed.
Well, with first base open, Torrealba hitting out of the 8-hole. See how Correa works him. Slider away.
I think you might see him try it 1 or 2 times to throw that slider out of the zone, see if he'll chase it, and then walk it.
That slider was there, 1-1.
Still another slider. Haven't seen that fastball yet, and I don't think they'll give him anything that he could drive into a gap.
Heater was down. 2 balls and a strike. Rockies trying to come up with their 7th sweep of the year. They're 6 games above 500 for the first time this season. Last year in May, after a quick start, they got 7 games above 500. And that fooled Torrealba, 2-2.
I'm sure Yorva would like to have that one back. I don't think he was thinking they were going to come anywhere near the plate. That just locked him up.
Boy, that was a spinner. That was a frisbee up in the strike zone that Correa got away with.
You're lucky.
Torrealba grounds to Vizquel. Hop singled. He's left at second. It's 2-0 Giants. We'll go to the 3rd. Well, today Major League Baseball announced its 2007 Roberto Clemente Award winners. And before the game this evening, Matt Holliday was presented with the Rockies Roberto Clemente Award. The award is given to the player who best exemplifies the game of baseball through sportsmanship, community involvement, and positive contributions to his team. The national recipient will be named during the World Series. So Matt Holliday, congratulations. And one of the neat things that Matt was talking about earlier to us is that you get $7,500 to donate to the charity of your choice. And for Matt and Leslie, his wife, that was easy. They gave the money to the Mike Coolbaugh Memorial Foundation.
Oh, how special is that? That's a couple nice things today.
Absolutely. Well-deserved honor for Matt, who, as great a player as he is, he's an even better person, which is what you want to hear about the guys you root for every night. This is popped up by Durham. And Willie has another opportunity. Roberto Clemente, who died in a plane crash as he was trying to deliver aid to Nicaragua after an earthquake. And he finished with 3,000 career hits on the butt, 12 gold gloves, as great a right fielder as maybe there's ever been.
Well, they say that he might have had the best arm, no matter right fielder, center field, left of all time. I was talking to Larry Bowl one time about, you know, guys that he played against or saw, and he said that Roberto Clemente hit the ball as hard as anybody that's ever hit a ball to him at shortstop.
Tremendous competitor. There's a great book out on Clemente that came out in the last 6 months that chronicles his life and gives insight to the man, because he was passionate about a lot of things, and one of them was giving back. Very bright guy and ridiculously gifted. And you know what, when we talk about Aaron and Mays, and then you get into the physical size naturally of today's player, Clemente wasn't a big man.
No. And that's what makes him. And there was a guy that could hit the ball over his head down to the shoe stops. It didn't matter where it was. He was going to put a good swing on it.
That's strike 3 on Shearholtz. No contact, so he's going to get first base on the strikeout. That's one of those times you want to come out and say, wait a second, didn't he foul that off?
That's what Yorva's trying to argue with Gary Darling. Tough angle to see.
No, he never came close.
Well, that hit him too as he swung, but since he swung at the baseball.
You know what? That was the bad break. You're right. That's how nasty that slider was. He swung at it and it hit him.
And that's what Yorva was arguing. He was thinking that it was a foul ball. I'm sure because he heard the double hit.
The double hit was his tibia.
You don't see
Gary
that too
Darling
often.
explained. He said, Yorva, you're right. You did hear contact with his shin.
But that hit him on his left leg, on the backside of his left leg, after he swung and come through. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's a quintessential back foot slider. 1-0 right now on Randy Wynn. 1 out and 1 on.
Take a look from the Hyundai cam. This is what I'm talking about. His back leg is all the way around, and it hits him right in that area right there. I've never seen that before. You've seen it on the front side. You've seen it right here before, but not on the back side.
3-0 on Wynn, and you have Bonds on deck. So Jimenez, with the Rockies already down 2-0, has to regather his focus here. We've seen him very good in these situations. It's like he's able to elevate his game, and it's pretty special to begin with. In fact, coming in over his last 4 ball games, the opposition has only 1 hit with runners in scoring position, but that's through the vacated area on the left side. Shearholtz skips to third base. First and third now with 1 out for Bonds.
This is what Randy Wynn can do. He can take a ball that's inside. He can see who's going and who's covering. He sees that Troy is covering, just stays back and just punches the ball to left field. This is a classic. This was not a real hit and run. It was more of a run and hit. Shearholtz was running and Randy Wynn hit the baseball.
So here we go. Jimenez against Bonds again, and that's inside. Ball 1. Bonds, his first time up on a 1-2 pitch, got a fastball at 99 miles an hour, but it was up and out over the plate. And Bonds, some of the fastest hands ever, hit it over the left field wall. 2-0 as the slider's in the dirt.
Well, even though that ball was up and away from him a little bit, still strong and got the barrel of the ball, or the barrel of the bat, to the baseball.
And with the 2-run home run, he moved past Lou Gehrig, 3rd all-time in RBIs, closing in on 2,000. Runner going, ball 4, and Torrealba just bluffs, ball 3. Torrealba just bluffs the throw. And now with a 3-0, I'm sure the Rockies will put him on and try to get Klesko to hit a ground ball.
It makes an easy decision now for Jamie Quirk. Just go ahead and put him on. And that's a risk that you take if you're Randy Wynn trying to steal the base.
That's why I was going to just pose the thought to you. Were you surprised that he ran?
Well, because this is exactly what's going to happen. You just take the bat out of your teammate's hand and bury Bonds.
Klesko hit the ball sharply his first time up, but it was right at Kaz Matsui. He'll take that again. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Hey, baseball fans want to know how you can When you donate your old car, truck, or SUV to Cars Helping Kids, you can change a kid's life. When you donate a vehicle, you not only get a tax break and a free tow, but you also get a $1,000 voucher toward the purchase of a new or used vehicle from Freeway Ford and Longmont Ford. For more information, go to carskids.com or cheaperfords.com.
Well, the last 4 games in these situations, Jimenez has been terrific. He hasn't had to deal with many of these situations, but when something has come up where there's been some traffic, he's been equal to the task. And he misses ball 1 to Klesko.
And he's got to work down in the zone. Can't get the ball up because Klesko, being the veteran guy he is, can elevate it no problem, get at least a sac fly. You want him to get off balance, work down, try to roll over, and get the double play.
2-0.
Nice pitch, 2-0. That one had a little bit of run on him. Away from Klesko. It wasn't the straight 4-seamer that we've seen. That was more of a 2-seam fastball.
Here's the 2-1. Ground ball to short. This should be 2. There's 1. There's 2. Great throw by Tulowitzki. Klesko still runs pretty well. And Tulowitzki threw the fastball to first. And Klesko grounds into the 4-6-3, and Jimenez works out of a bases-loaded jam. 2-0 Giants, middle of 3 at Coors Field. Two to nothing as it has started to rain here at Coors Field. Rained a little bit earlier this afternoon. Ubaldo Jimenez steps in against Kevin Correa. That pitch south of the knees, ball 1. Rockies have been out hit 4-1 so far. And that's a little comeback and a broken bat. Tonight's game is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Visit an agent today in Denver, Broomfield, or Lone Tree. Willie Taveras reached on an error by Omar Vizquel of all people.
Yeah,
his first time up.
.986 fielding percentage going into tonight's ball game. Mentioned 11 Gold Gloves. Only Ozzie Smith has had more at 13 as a shortstop.
You know, where other guys are getting some time off, some of these veteran guys, Omar's not getting any time off. They don't have any shortstops that are close in their system. Kevin Franson's played a little bit there, but he's really a second baseman. He's been given a long look here over the last few weeks and will continue to get a long look from Bruce Bochy, Brian Sabian, the general manager, though Durham gets a start tonight. There's a drag bunt, and that hit him. Was he in the box? Yeah. He was in the batter's box when it contacted him. If it hit him when he was outside the batter's box, and you would have seen Gary Darling indicate that he was out.
Well, if that doesn't hit him, he's safe all the way around because Kevin Correa didn't even know what happened. He threw the baseball and kind of turned around. Hyundai Cam will take a look right off the end of the bat, off the plate, right in front, and it did hit him before his foot came out of the box. That right foot is in fair territory, and then it hits him, automatic out.
Taveras will have to battle with 2 strikes. And the slider's high. Correa, interestingly enough, his numbers pedestrian as a reliever, but they've been outstanding so far in 3 starts. Another chance for Vizquel. He won't mess this one up. 2 outs.
Some guys are just more comfortable doing one or the other, and I think finally they're going to give Correa a shot down the stretch and get another 3 or 4 starts out of the rotation.
Well, his first year was 03, and he had 10 appearances, 7 were as a starter. In 04 was almost exclusively out of the bullpen. He had 1 start. 05, 11 of 16 as a starter. And last year, all out of the pen. 48 appearances. Matsui, a little tardy with the swing. Strike one.
Kaz against the Giants this year, 10 for 27, almost a 370 clip.
Matsui and Barry Bonds work out together at UCLA in the offseason. Learned that talking to Bonds earlier today. Kaz lives out in Los Angeles during the offseason.
How'd that go talking to Bonds today?
You want to know what? He was charming. Honestly, he was in a great mood. He was in a great mood last weekend last week when we were out there. Barry gonna have to play chase, and he can still go and get him a little bit. Nice little grab there as Matsui lined it, and Bonds chased it down. 1-2-3 inning for Correa. 3 innings complete. 2-0 Giants. Taco Bell game reset in the first inning. Barry Bonds on a 1-2 pitch got a fastball up and away. He has done this a few times in his career. Man aboard, 2-0. And then in the third inning, Ryan Klesko up there, bases loaded, 1 out. He gets the ground ball to second. And a nice turn by Matsui and Tulowitzki up the middle. Jimenez works out of that jam. Benji Molina will lead it off for San Francisco in the 4th inning. And Ubaldo needs a quick, clean inning. He hasn't had one of those yet.
Just back to working ahead. Fallen behind lately. 2-0, 3-1. There you go. Strike one.
On a first pitch slider. There's a comparison of the two pitchers today. That slider's inside. Another guy that you and I have chatted with the last couple of days, your former teammate who's up at the plate now, Benji Molina. And this guy, I learned something about him. You know, he's been a good player for a long time. But he despises, I mean, despises losing. Not that anybody likes to lose. I'm not suggesting that. But this is really eating at him.
Well, it's, you know, a lot of times it's easy right now just to play the rest of the season out. Your club is 14.5 games back. Benji just doesn't do that.
No, there's that nasty slider, second strike out of the ball game. That'll bring up Feliz. It also takes us to our Affleck trivia question tonight. When was the last time the Rockies had 2 players with 30+ stolen bases in the same season? Taveras is there, and Matsui has 29.
You're still going out on that limb saying he's going to get 30.
Yeah, I really I feel like he has a decent chance. Willie's got one tonight, in fact. This ball's well hit to center field, really well hit. 3-0 as Pedro Feliz hits his 18th of the year. Well, you knew he couldn't go a whole series against the Rockies and not be a factor somewhere. He has just killed the Rockies through the years. His 19th career home run against Colorado. That is his highest against any opponent by a bunch. Next highest, he's hit 13 against San Diego.
98-mile-an-hour fastball, but we talk about it being straight and guys will catch up to it. Short, compact swing from Feliz just takes it out to left center field.
Vizquel hit the ball to center field his first time up. And he has himself a base hit to Matt Holliday on 1 hop.
Take another look at the short, compact swing of Pedro Feliz. The head drive, the head going down, the hip rotation going out this way. And that allows him to get all the way through the baseball. This extension, follow through, all your parts working together.
Estimated distance on the home run, 428 feet. Correa fouls this one off of home plate, and it's 0-1.
The rain's starting to come down just a little bit harder now. You make it, that grass out there, when you feel the bunt, you have to make sure that you get the good grip on it. Otherwise, you could throw it away.
And also in the outfield, the ball will skip.
Yep.
Jimenez will have one play. Looked a second, but Vizquel runs well still. They sacrificed 1-4. And with 2 outs, Ray Durham will come up. Durham a ground ball to short and a fly ball to Willie Taveras.
You'd see from the way Willie went, or excuse me, that Ubaldo went after that ball, that he was going to make sure he had the grip on it before he made the throw.
Changeup is low, ball 1. Our insurance inside information concerns Ray Durham. Of the 79 players in the National League that have qualified for the batting title, Durham's 217 is the lowest, and that's shocking. Last year, Ray Durham hit 293 with 26 home runs, and he knocked in 93. He had a career high last year in home runs and RBIs. He's a career 281 hitter with 175 home runs. So what's he doing down at 217?
I'm sure all the Giants fans and management's wanting to know the same thing.
And this is lifted toward Matt Holliday. He's got a long run. Matt in foul ground gets there. That's where the big man's speed pays off. Nice running catch by Holliday. In the inning, Pedro Feliz goes deep. For the 18th time this year, it's 3-0. Giants up 3-0. The Rockies have just one hit. That was a Brad Hopp single to center field in the second. Holliday, Helton, and Atkins in the 4th inning against Kevin Correa. And the fastball off the plate, ball 1. Earlier today, Barry Bonds was talking about Matt Holliday.
I've had opportunity to watch him now. He knows what he's doing. He stays within himself. And you can see him mature each year. You know, you can see him mature and turn into an outstanding baseball. He's going to be an all-star for years to come. There's no doubt about that. He's also going to mature, and he's got a chance to be an MVP type player. He really does. There's no question about it.
High praise from a guy who knows a thing or two about winning MVPs. Bonds owns 7 of them, and he had 3 near misses in terms of being an MVP in the National League. In fact, that was just a smidgen of the bite. Barry went on, and you heard the bite, Jeff. He went on for about a minute and a half on how much respect he had for Matt Holliday, and he talked about how he's improved defensively and how he goes about his business. Talked about him at the All-Star game, and then he segued over to Todd Helton. And he said, you know, Todd was that way. He said, as soon as Todd got to the big leagues, you could tell he was going to be a great player.
And that's what you're looking from, respect from your peers. You go out and play against these guys all the time, but those are the guys that you're really trying to, they know you can't fool them. And Matt or Todd or anybody, even a great guy like Barry Bonds, a great player like Barry Bonds, notices guys and how hard they work.
2-0 on Helton. And Todd bounces this one fair. An easy play for Klesko. Kevin Correa has kept the Rockies off balance. There's only been really 1 ball hit hard against him, and that was the hit by Brad Hopp in the second, a clean single to center.
He's used his fastball in and out, spotted it up and down, and go along with that slider and changeup. Benji Molina is also guiding him along back there behind the plate. We mentioned him earlier. And Benji's helping him out too, because they really can't figure out a pitch sequence so far.
Atkins drives it to right. Except that's right where Shearholtz was playing. 1-2-3 again for Correa. He's retired 8 straight. Giants up 3-0. (3-0) Giants. They've out-hit the Rockies 6-1. Top of the 5th inning. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston from Coors Field. Our Affleck trivia question again. When was the last time the Rockies had 2 players with 30 or more bags in the same season? And the answer is 1997. Ooh. Walker had 33, his number. And EY had 32. The Nolan Walker, he is so superstitious, he shut it down the rest. Once he hit 33, so that's it, I'm done.
You know he stopped it at 33. probably had a chance to steal 45, and now 33 is good.
Shearholtz, ground ball down the left field line. Holiday got there quickly. Shearholtz will stop at first with a single. That's the 7th knock of the ball game for the Giants. Let's go to the studio. Mark Stout has a baseball update. Mark.
The Braves scored 4 in the 8th. They needed 3 in the 9th. Matt Diaz off of Brett Myers. The double scores 3, and the Braves come back and win it 9-8. What a game.
That's a tough one for Philadelphia. They had the big lead. They had 17 hits, and they lose.
It was 8-2 at one point. Mets had already lost.
And the Braves have been not playing good baseball lately. They needed that in the worst way.
Well, things had gotten so frustrating. Chipper Jones, after last night's ball game, was complaining about the umpires and this and that. You know they're frustrated if Chipper's out there talking about the umpires.
Yeah, Chipper's one of those guys. Great player. Exceptionally candid. I mean, he will speak his mind, and he did it earlier with John Smoltz. They've only been teammates for like 4 decades. I just saw something on the scoreboard down the line. I'll share with you in a moment. 2-0 right now on Randy Wynn. Outside, it's 3-0. Jimenez has not been sharp. I'm worried about Baltimore. How many runs did they give up last week? 30?
That was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Well, they've given up 17 so far to Tampa Bay tonight. They're in the 7th inning.
That's still early.
There it is. Three and 1 on Wynn.
Oh my.
Tampa Bay up 17-2. John Gruden right now takes 17 points in their opener. Runner going, ball 4. And now there's nobody out, 2 men on.
That's why
Jamie Quirk has got some action going in the Rockies bullpen. They've removed the tarp.
Ryan Spires. Ryan, who tossed in last night's ball game, getting up, getting loose again. The other thing you have to look at, the pitcher spots due up 4th next inning. Can't afford to let this game spiral out of control too quickly with all the guys you have in the bullpen and all the guys you have on the bench.
Now, you manage it differently in September when you're in the race, particularly when you have a lot of depth, and the Rockies do right now. Barry Bonds takes outside ball 1, and that'll get Torey Alba out there. You know, as great an arm as he has, the last 4 starts, he did more pitching than just throwing. Tonight, at times, he's just throwing.
It looks like he's kind of trying to guide the baseball at times, too. And you do that when you just start to throw and not pitch. Trying to figure out something, some release point, a mechanical thing. Bob Apodaca is looking, trying to figure out, is he not keeping that front shoulder closed? Is he lunging too much?
This should be 2. Matsui, Tulowitzki, and Tulowitzki on the transition lost the baseball. The out was recorded at 2nd. The Tulo had a fairly long distance to come. The shift was not on. So there's 1 out, runners at 1st and 3rd, and Klesko coming up.
Well, Randy Wynn did get on top of him with Todd playing back, allowing Wynn to get there, and Troy just missed it on the transfer. Randy Wynn's right on top of him, but as you're coming across the bag, he's already peeking and just doesn't get the transfer before he goes to throw. More concerned a lot of times with trying to make sure you get your cleats out of the ground. You just don't see that too often. When it goes in Troy's glove, he makes that transfer, makes the throw. Now we're going to see a 161st double play for the Rockies.
Klesko has cooperated his first 2 times up, hitting it on the ground at Matsui last time for an inning-ending double play with the bases loaded, and he's done it again. 4-6-3, and Jimenez works out of another jam. Rockies, however, have done very little against Kevin Correa to date. 3-0 Giants. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Chevy. The Chevy year-end event is here, and it's open 24/7. Just click and go to ColoradoChevyDealers.com. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? Brad Hopp swings at the first pitch. He was on it, fouled it straight back. Hopp has the Rockies' only hit. The Rockies' only other base runner was Willie Taveras, leading off the bottom of the first. He reached on an error by Omar Vizquel. Would steal second. Got no further. That catches the corner. It's 0-2.
Well, so far they really haven't been able to figure out Kevin Correa. Been able to use all of his pitches, move it around.
And Correa on Friday at RFK beat the Nationals 3-2. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings, just 5 hits. 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA as a starter. And when Correa has missed tonight, it's been down.
Yeah, everything with movement too. It's not just straight down. It's just with some movement and sink on the fastball. Every breaking pitch that he's thrown has been down below the belt when he wanted it to be.
And Hopp gets the count full. Outfield straight up and deep. Swung on and missed, and that's the first out of the 5th inning. The Chevy Model year-end event is here, and it's open 24/7. Just click and go to ColoradoChevyDealers.com, then visit your Colorado Chevy dealer. But you'd better act fast before the Chevy you want is gone. Troy Tulowitzki. And the slider's in there.
Correa is also kind of strange because the way he finishes up, once he lands, he really spins off and throwing off to the left side.
He's got it going on right now.
He does. He's in that zone.
And the other thing is his pitch count is very low. 61 pitches here with 1 out in the 5th inning. Toward the hole, and a base hit for Tulowitzki.
I just mentioned Kevin Correa's delivery. What makes it unique in the fact that he's able to throw enough strikes. As he comes up, the balance is very good as he goes straight up. But then once he comes driving down to home plate, watch, he goes off and spins this way, off of his heel. A lot of times pitchers, when they land, want to land on the ball of their foot, and that'll allow them to get over the top, get the momentum going towards the plate. Correa lands and almost spins off his heel. That causes him to fall towards first base.
The Rockies have a quartet of lefties to choose from to pinch hit if necessary after Torrealba. And Jamie Quirk has decided on Joe Kashansky.
With Kashansky on the on-deck circle, Jorge Julio and Dan Serafini, the righty and the lefty, are warming up in the bullpen. Depending on what happens the rest of this inning, if the Rockies don't score, more than likely it'd be Serafini.
Outside 2-0. Torrealba trying to work his way out of a little slump. He's 5 for 36 over his last 10 games. He's caught more games this year than any previous year in his career. Former Giant, briefly a Seattle Mariner. 2-0, and it's slowly hit to third. And Feliz will go to first. So Tulowitzki to second, and Kashansky will pinch hit for Jimenez. Third time the Rockies have gotten a runner to second base in the game.
you mentioned it earlier. If this was August or June, July, I'm not sure you would see this early in the ball game. And now you have to try to scratch out a run or two.
Gashansky, a graduate of the University of Virginia. Grew up in suburban Washington, D.C., similar to Jeff Baker. Baker went to Clemson to play college baseball. Good swing, fouled off.
Joe fell 1 RBI short of hitting 100 down for the Colorado Springs Sky Sox this year. Still named to the All-PCL team as the first baseman. He's voted on by the managers and the media of the whole league.
He's put up prodigious numbers in the minor leagues when it comes to home runs and RBIs. First 2 years at Virginia, he was primarily a pitcher. Then the first baseman went his junior year in the draft, and they said, "Hey, Joe, you play first base." Worked out pretty well. Wait a second. Hold on. It's not a puppy. It's a kid.
Make sure she doesn't get wet. That's all.
You might want to invest in a stroller. Strike 3 on Gashansky. And that's all for the Rockies in the 5th inning. Tulowitzki singled. He's left at second. It remains 3-0 San Francisco. In the drizzle at Coors Field, the Giants lead 3-0. We go to the Rockies dugout. Clint Hurdle serving a 1-game suspension. Jamie Quirk, his longtime bench coach, is at the controls tonight. Jamie, thanks for joining us. Kevin Correa is a guy you've seen before. Why has he been, from your standpoint, so successful tonight?
Well, he's making pitches when he has to. We got to put a little heat on him. He's throwing a nice game. He hasn't started many, so maybe we can get him here in the next inning or two. I don't know how long they'll keep him out there, but he has only had like 3 starts.
Ubaldo, not quite as sharp as we've seen him in his last couple of starts.
His stuff was good. It's just location. He tried to throw one by Felice without locating it. Bonds, he got one up to Bonds. So 2 bad pitches, really. He really didn't have his great location. His stuff was fine.
Q, we were kidding earlier. You have the Giants right where you want them. You guys played great from behind.
Yeah, there's a long way to go in this game. We're gonna get some runs here, and hopefully our bullpen will hold them down here.
Jamie, thanks very much.
Okay.
All right, that's Jamie Quirk, longtime bench coach for Clint Hurdle. Almost 2 decades in the big leagues as a catcher for Q, and he'll turn it over now to Jorge Julio here in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, Jamie wants to make sure he keeps his ball game at a 3-0. That's why he's got a Julio coming in right now. Tried to shut the Giants down for an inning or two to get his offense back out on track. And he'll be deceived by that ERA. It's been pretty special since he's been with the Rockies.
There's the heater for a strike. Mark Razum is the outstanding crew chief.
It's coming down as hard right now as it has all night.
Head groundskeeper, and I never like to see Raz on the phone.
It's not a good sign.
And here's a guy that from his home has the radar and that he is in constant contact with. And they're very good at anticipating when a big cell is coming in and getting the tarp on the field before the field takes a beating. And the intensity of the rain has picked up. Two and one on Molina.
Key now is to try to make sure your hands stay dry in between innings or in between pitches. No matter whether you're an outfielder or an infielder. A lot of guys will put their hands in their back pocket. They'll put it underneath their arm just to make sure that that hand is dry, so when they grab the baseball, they don't throw it away.
Pedro Feliz on deck. Benji Molina leading off in the 6th inning.
Almost looked like what he did yesterday, although yesterday he stuck his bat out there and hit the double down the right field line.
And he literally, when sometimes we throw that term out there, he literally stuck his bat out.
That's what he did.
He was badly fooled. Poked it down the right field line.
Get back to Ubaldo for a minute. Yeah, he didn't have his great location tonight. He still made a couple big pitches when he needed to, though. He got the 2 ground ball double plays off of Ryan Klesko, where this game could have ballooned, and they could have scored 7, 8 runs if he doesn't make 2 pitches.
You know what? You're absolutely right. He wasn't as sharp as we've seen him. This ball in the air to Holiday and left. It's pretty well hit, though. And you know what? He's going to get on out of there. Off the bat, I didn't think he got it as good as he evidently did. And now it's 4-0. Molina's 16th of the year.
His 76th RBI. A hanging slider from Julio at 82 miles an hour.
That is a milestone home run for Molina. It is the 100th of his career.
The slider I mentioned it that just stays up and backs up actually over the inside part of the plate.
Molina hit a home run on Monday night to give the Giants and Matt Cain at the time a 1-0 lead. That evaporated quickly. Feliz on one hop to Matsui.
We talk about a pitch backing up on you, and that's exactly what this does. We'll take a look from the Hyundai cam. You can see the grip on the baseball that Julio has, and where Yorvit wants the baseball, it doesn't end up there. Just goes back into the wheelhouse of Benji Molina as he drives those hips through and elevates the baseball.
Omar Vizquel 1 for 2. I asked Omar earlier. I said, have you done that before with the flip on the leather last night to turn 2? He said, yeah, a couple other times. He said, you know, it was just happened.
Just did it.
Just did it.
Yeah.
Two outs.
I guess when you're that good, you can just do it like that.
Yeah. 2 outs, and Kevin Correa will approach. 0 for 1 and a sacrifice. Giants up 4-0. They've out-hit the Rockies 8-2. And the story of this game has been Correa. You know, we've mentioned the pitch count with Correa. He's in the 60s, which is very low for having worked 5 innings. But Correa is making just his 4th start. So how stretched out is he?
Well, in his last outing, he did throw 90 pitches in the 6 innings against Washington. So he's up there a little bit, and he's not a guy that can go out there and throw 115 pitches. But he's been very economical so far tonight.
Now, more often than not, he's been strike 1.
Yep. And just put you in a defensive position as a hitter. And it gets you to chase balls just out of the zone.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Correa out of San Luis Obispo. Played baseball there for 3 years. And that's up high 3-2. Julio strikes out Correa. Benji Molina hits his 16th home run of the year, leading off the 6th inning. 4-0 Giants. Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Time now for the Coors Light Cold Blast. Unfortunately, it is a giant cold blast. Home run number 762 for Bonds. That came in the 1st inning with a man aboard against Ubaldo Jimenez. Gave the Giants a 2-0 lead. They now enjoy a 4-0 lead. And diamond drive being applied all over the infield, the pitcher's mound, home plate area.
That's
kind of been a steady rain now for about an inning and a half.
That's the kind that just really soaks in. You throw that diamond dry out there and mix it in with the normal dirts that is there. Helps dry it up so you can get some traction. Most of the places they do it is where the infielders will stand and then right by the bases.
Now let's get you to Mark Stout very quickly for a baseball update. Mark.
Aramis Ramirez had 30 or more homers each of the last 3 seasons. That is his 20th of this year. Put the Cubs up 3-0 as they're taking on the Dodgers at Wrigley Field. Back to you, Drew.
All right, Mark, thank you. Here in the 6th inning, the Giants up 4-love, and Willie Taveras will lead it off. Matsui and Holiday to follow. See if the 3rd time through proves to be positive for the Rockies. Here's the 1-0, and Willie lays down a bunt. It goes foul. Second time Willie's tried to do that in the game. Last time up, he got the bunt out there and it hit him while he was still in the batter's box.
This time he just made the adjustment, over-adjusted a little bit too much. And once it hit that grass, it just spun off to the left. And Pedro Feliz is still, this is probably as close as I've ever seen a guy right now. And Pedro Feliz at 3rd base, close to Willie Taveras, about 75 feet away.
He turns on one, he's going to be eating a baseball. This ball well hit down the left field line. Long run for Bonds. He's not going to get there. And Taveras has a double. So the Rockies have their first extra base hit as Willie is at 2nd with a leadoff double. Maybe that'll get Colorado jump started here.
Well, a slider that Correa left up. Willie hits it off the end of the bat just a little bit, but has enough to hit it down the line. And then the most important thing is to keep it fair. A lot of times the balls start to hook on you. Bonds has to jog over and gets it on the 1-hop, get it back in. Yeah, maybe get something going offensively. You got to get at 2nd base. Now you have to worry about him. Omar Vizquel holding him close. Flesko and Pedro Feliz are playing in close. Open up some more holes, get some things going.
Matsui a strikeout and a line drive to left.
Talk about the infielders and the outfielders having to worry about the rain. The hitter also has to too. Notice the shine coming off of Kaz's helmet. When the rain hits that helmet, it drops in front of your eyes sometimes the minute the pitch is being thrown. And that can distract you.
On the corner for a strike, it's 1-2. This season, Cardell Holmes is sponsoring Home Runs for Hunger. Each time one of our guys hits a home run, Cardell Holmes will donate $100 to the food bank of the Rockies. To learn more about Home Runs for Hunger or to pledge your support, go to cardellhomes.com.
He's really pounding Kaz's helmet right now. Dripping into his ear, off his neck. It's really coming down now.
Here's the 2-2. And Matsui goes after it. He buried a slider. And for Correa, that's his 4th strikeout of the ball game. It's the 2nd time he's been able to get Kaz. Holiday will come up.
His last start, Correa only had 2 strikeouts in 6 innings. He's been able to get that slider down and get a few more strikeouts.
Matt popped to first base and a ground ball to second against Correa. His average resting at 333. Two and 0. Matt with 109 RBIs. Last year he drove in 114. He had 34 homers last year, batted .326. As Barry Bonds was talking about earlier, he's backing everything up.
Yeah, can you do it 2, 3, 4 years in a row? That's what Barry's talking about. Well, the guy's one-hit wonders. And certainly not the case with Matt.
You know, Bonds off camera was talking to me about Ryan Braun and Troy Tulowitzki, and he had a lot of great things to say about Tulowitzki, and he said, man, Braun is really remarkable with his ability to swing the bat and obviously hit the ball out of the ballpark. He said the true test comes that sophomore year when pitchers adjust, when scouting reports are fully dissected. Not that they aren't the first time around, but can they back it up?
Well, you have a year to live off your reputation too over the winter. You know, do you work out as hard? Are you as hungry? That's those things you have to answer coming to spring training the next year.
3-1 on Holiday. Just get the feeling tonight, like any night, Rockies need that one hit to get everybody going. This ball toward the hole, out through, base hit. Taveras around third will come home with the Rockies' first run. Matt Holliday, RBI number 110, and it's a 4-1 affair.
Maybe that's the pitch or the hit that'll get the offense going. Fastball into Matt, got on top of it just a little bit, but strong enough to hit it past the diving Pedro Feliz at third base. Just see the strength in Matt's arms and wrists and forearms as he hits that baseball. And of course with Bonds, everybody knows you run on him. Easy decision from Mike Gallego to send Willie home.
Helton takes a strike. Todd a fly ball to right. And a two-hopper to Klesko at first. Helton, a career .358 hitter in August and September. And this year, those 2 months, he's hitting .349. Outside 1-1. Said it yesterday, and it bears repeating. I think the last few days we've seen Helton drive the ball, sting the ball like he did the first 5-6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, well, you can go back a little further. Beginning of this month, the last 10 days or so, hitting over 500. And it just shows you that he's been getting those strikes and doing some damage with it. I think the ball that impressed me the most was the one he hit to left center field yesterday off the wall. And that's where Todd's power is. Yeah, he can still turn on the ball and jerk it out of the field to right field, but when you stay on a baseball, you really have to have your mechanics squared up when you do that the other way.
2-1, it's fouled off.
Really a shine going out on the infield dirt now.
And there's a little bit of standing water.
Yep. Behind first base.
And also deep third base. Right near where Jerry Meals, the umpire, is situated. Here's the 2-2. Way up high, 3-2.
Well, you're starting to see that. That was a pitch that just slipped from Correa. Was it because of the water on his hand, or was it because the mound's getting a little slick? Even though they put the diamond drive, the turfus, whatever you want to call it, out there, you see his front foot. Well, yeah, when he went to go land and plant, his front foot slid about 3 or 4 inches.
And also, you got to get all the mud out of your spikes. It keeps gathering.
Just cakes up underneath there.
3-2. And Todd pops it up. It's drifting foul. Bonds gets over in the neighborhood and he makes the catch. Well, you can say what you will about Barry, and doesn't run well anymore. Not a great left fielder as he used to be. That was a big time play.
There was a couple. Even remember the play he had earlier off of Kaz. Line drive over there. This time I didn't think he was going to get to it at first. And then he checked to see where everybody was and made the basket catch.
Caught it like his godfather.
Yeah, Willie Mays. Well, when that ball was first hit where he was positioned, I didn't think there was any way he would get to it.
This ball is hit well to right. It doesn't have enough carry, though, to get over the head of Shearholtz. The Rockies get a couple of hits in their first run. As Holiday drives in Taveras, it's 4-1. XL Energy fun fact on a Wednesday night at Coors Field. Roberto Clemente was the only player to ever hit a walk-off inside the Park Grand Slam. It occurred in July of 1956. Major League Baseball honoring Roberto Clemente as they do every year. And today the Roberto Clemente honorees with individual teams were announced, and then the national winner, the overall winner, will be announced during the World Series. Matt Holliday received his Roberto Clemente Award prior to the ball game, and he donated the $7,500 to the Mike Coolbaugh Scholarship Fund. I'll tell you very quickly, other winners in the Rockies division: Orlando Hudson with Arizona. With the Dodgers, Derek Lowe. With San Diego, Jake Peavy. And with the Giants, Russ Ortiz. And again, the Roberto Clemente Award given to the player who best exemplifies the game of baseball through sportsmanship, community involvement, and positive contributions to his team. So congrats once again to Matt. One of many awards he will win in his career. We go to the 7th inning. Jeremy Affeldt takes over.
You know what I think is neat about Roberto Clemente as well is the Hall of Fame didn't wait the 5 years to induct him. And they put him in the very next year. I think that is pretty neat.
That was appropriate. Sometimes things are pretty simple. You do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to follow every single rule. They did the right thing there. Hey, let's take a look at Jeremy Affeldt's numbers. 63rd game for Jeremy, which is ranked 2nd on the club, but also a career high for him. Out of the bullpen, trying to keep this ball game a 4-1 affair. And a few days off after the birth of his child.
Little boy?
Yeah. Who needs that?
A lot of toddlers running around the clubhouse. Some of them can't run just yet. Ray Durham from the right side fouls it off. Ray's 0 for 3. Rockies trailing 4-1, starting to get late. Top of the 7th inning. It'll be interesting to see how Bruce Bochy works his pen tonight. And then he had to extend Hennessy last night because Wilson was thrown out. He's got Walker up right now. There's a strike.
Well, they're also a little short on the left side. Jack Tashner, one of their lefties, had to fly back to San Francisco to get his arm checked out.
Up in the air right side. Hop coming on. Matsui going out. Brad will make the catch as he is able to call off Matsui late. Let's get an update from the NL West from Mark Stout again. Mark?
Drew, Jake Peavy volunteered to move his start up by a day to pitch in the finale at Arizona. Connor Jackson takes him deep in the first. Diamondbacks a 2-0 early lead.
Well, it's 2-2 now in that baseball game. The Padres have come back.
What's nice about that, now the Rockies don't have to face Jake Peavy this weekend.
Yeah, the rotation changed. Originally, they were going to get Peavy and Chris Young. Now it'll be Germano on Friday, Greg Maddux Saturday, Chris Young Sunday. The suddenly vulnerable Chris Young.
Yeah, he struggled his last few outings.
This is a help. Ground ball through the slot. And that retires Shearholtz.
Well, speaking of the Padres, this Friday night, the first 5,000 fans through the gates will receive a Your Victorialba Player of the Homestand jersey T-shirt, courtesy of Coors and Rocky Mountain News. You can vote for the Player of the Homestand online at ColoradoRockies.com. Right now for the Rockies in that Padres series, Elmer descends on Friday night, Jeff Francis on Saturday, Josh Fogg on Sunday. Fogg backs up a couple days with the shoulder tightness that he had the other day. Give him a couple extra days, and he's shown that he can do that. He's a guy that you don't have to worry about skipping him a few days.
No, he's a gritty guy. He's a great competitor. We've talked about it frequently. He also is aware that 3/5 of the rotation is done for the year. The Rockies have played wonderful baseball lately, and some nights, like last night, they've had to piecemeal their way through 9 innings. Tonight they get 5 out of Jimenez. He did a good job to hold the Giants to 3 because he dealt with traffic frequently. That's inside on Randy Wynn. And the Rockies, honestly, are probably going to have to play a number of games like that the rest of the way.
Well, you're not sure how Franklin Morales is going to continue to progress. I mean, he struggled in his last couple outings.
He's 21. You don't know what you're going to get.
Exactly. And Elmer, there's a reason why he'd been released a few times, and you're not sure what you're going to get out of him. And right now, you're looking at Jeff Francis and Josh Fogg as your 2 veteran guys. Ubaldo's been pretty good.
Oh, he's been outstanding the last 4. And even tonight, again, he got big outs. He left the ball game giving his team a chance to win, and that's that's really what every pitcher's goal is when he goes out there. I mean, yeah, everybody loves to throw a shutout.
Sure. I mean, he still goes 5 innings, only giving up 3 runs.
Yeah.
But that's what you're going to get. I mean, the other thing, too, is you can't sit there and go, okay, we're going to let him try to get through this next inning. No, if you feel there's trouble, go get him. You have enough guys down in your pen.
2-2 bounce foul.
Ryan Spire back up and tossing now again for the Rockies. Second time he's been up. Tyler Walker is warming for the Giants out in their pen.
Tulowitzki. Good hands by Troy to throw out Randy Wynn. 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Affeldt. Speaking of good hands, Gold Glove hands, whether he's out on the field or in the dugout. Omar Vizquel. I got it. No problem. 4-1 Giants. Tonight's Hyundai Cam replays are brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers, giving Honda and Toyota a run for their money and saving you thousands. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. It's been a pretty steady rain for about 3 or 4 innings, and now it appears the rain has stopped. The field is slick. 4-1 San Francisco. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston. We go to the top of the 7th. Brad Hopp will lead it off, and Tyler Walker takes over for San Francisco. He pitched last night. He had a scoreless inning of relief last night for Bruce Bochy.
1 walk, 1 strikeout for Tyler. 5th ball game. Coming back off of Tommy John surgery. We mentioned it last night. Missed almost 14 months from the time he got back out on the field.
And the fastball in there. Strike 1 on Hopp. Single and a strikeout for Brad. Slowly hit to Durham, and Ray initially had trouble getting rid of it. Tonight's game is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Visit an agent today in Denver, Broomfield, or Lone Tree. Well, that'll bring up Tulowitzki. Troy is single in 2 trips. Rockies have had 4 hits. Giants have not walked anybody. They've committed 1 error. That was Omar Vizquel.
And that was before it was raining.
Yeah, in the first inning. And Tulowitzki out front. He gets a piece of Molina. Well, Benji was saying before the game, his dad, who was a great player in Puerto Rico and coached all 3 of the boys growing up, he taught them first and foremost how to win and how to compete.
Well, we saw it in last night's ball game. Bonds is at second base. Benji Molina's up with nobody on or nobody out. It's a ground ball to second base to advance the runner.
On a team that's 14 games. Yeah, at that point, they were 14 games under 500. They're now 15 under 500. And a lot of guys, even some of his teammates said, hey, you're our hottest hitter. Go get the RBI.
But that's not how he was taught. His dad taught him how to play the game the right way. The interesting thing with all the Molina brothers as catchers, you got Yadier, Jose, and Benji. Their dad was a second baseman. You'd think he would have been this great backstop, this great catcher. No, he was a great catcher down in second baseman down in Puerto Rico.
That's a strike, 3 and 2. And the Molina brothers, they talk regularly. Benji says a couple times a week. I said, all right, did y'all get along always growing up? Because they're very close now. He said, I got along with everybody. He said, Yadier and Jose, you know, brotherly thing. Tulowitzki strikes out. Of course, Benji's the oldest. 2 gone, and Yorvi Torrealba comes up to face Walker here in the 7th. 4-1 San Francisco.
Hey folks, Tuesday, September 18th is girls softball night. This package includes special ticket prices and pregame parade around the warning track. Call 303 Rockies for more info.
Correa went 6 innings, allowed a run on 4 hits, did not walk a batter, struck out 4. That pitch is high, ball 1.
Pretty impressive outing for Correa. The guy that's only making his 4th start this year.
Well, to keep the Rockies to 1 run at Coors Field. This is popped up and is playable. Oh, Klesko with a lot of white showing. 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen for Tyler Walker. We move on to the 8th. 4-1 San Francisco. Now one of the most prestigious conferences in the nation, the Big Ten, has its own network, and you can see over 400 live events, including 39 football games, 140 men's basketball games. To ensure you get these games in the Big Ten network, call 1-866-WANT-B10. Now there's a proud Maize and Blue fan who probably had a rough weekend.
I'm not sure. Proud?
Well, she's proud enough that she's got her colors on.
But she's not wearing the Appalachian State sweatshirt.
That's underneath. She meant the reverse of
Yeah, she forgot.
She got mixed up. Dan Serafini will make his Colorado Rockies debut. Added to the roster yesterday. Rockies signed him in late July to a minor league deal. He was pitching in Japan the last few years.
Well, the last time he pitched in the state was 2003 against Montreal. That's how long ago it was. They're not even in existence. Well, they are. Washington.
Right. We know what you meant.
Yeah.
Originally a #1 pick of the Minnesota Twins back in 1992. Big league time with the Twins, the Cubs, the Padres, and the Pirates. And he hits Bonds. I would assume they'll remove him for a pinch runner here as it's getting late. He gets his at bat.
Davis is going to come out and run for him and then go out and play center field.
He'll go play center field to move Wynn to left field. So Rajay Davis comes on. Bonds goes out.
Just a breaking pitch that Serafini just spun up there. Bonds takes it off that armor that he wears on his right elbow. Didn't even feel it.
Take a look at our Valero. Ryan Klesko has played pepper all night with Kaz Matsui. And on 2 occasions, this double play has been able to get the Rockies out of jams. Davis started to go, and I think he spun his wheels on the wet ground.
As much diamond drive that they put out there, still you can't get the good traction that you had earlier before it started to rain. And then that stuff just cakes into your cleats.
That was close.
I thought he had him with it. That time Serafini just came with the quick move over there. Davis was leaning, swipe tag from Helton.
I'm not so sure he wasn't out.
Yeah. Todd goes right for that right arm. Tough to tell from that angle. See if Bruce Bochy sends a first movement. Thrown over there a couple times. You can tell Dan's a veteran guy. He's thrown over 4 times and put 3 different moves over there. Those lefties that can have that ability to mix up their throws to first base, keep the base runners off balance.
Now they pitch out on a 1-0 pitch. Now you're in a hole with Klesko 2-0.
You don't see that too often with a 1-0 with a lefty on lefty, because it does put you behind the 8 ball now. With the way they've been able to get Klesko to ground into a double play.
Klesko dropped the back shoulder and tried to hit it into the 3rd deck.
Back shoulder, back knee, elbow, every single moving part that could drop underneath the baseball and spin off it. He was trying to hit it in the 3rd deck.
Good pitch by Serafini. It's 2-2. A cut fastball.
Yeah, 88 miles an hour, ran away from Klesko. That's a good location. Good job from Jorvik to call it out there after Klesko looked like he did on the pitch before, trying to hit the ball out. Don't even attempt to go inside. Work everything away.
Left center field, it's hanging up there. Taveras makes the catch, and Davis all the way to second will return to first. That's the first out of the 8th inning. So a victory of sorts for Klesko. He didn't ground into a double play. With Benji Molina to be followed by Feliz coming up, Jamie Quirk's going to go get a right-hander.
Well, other than the pitch to Bonds that got away, did a pretty nice job pitching to the lefties.
1 out, 1 on. Back to Coors Field for LaTroy Hawkins when we come back. 4-1 San Francisco, top of the 8th. The Chevy model year-end event is here, and it's open 24/7. Just click and go to ColoradoChevyDealers.com, then visit your Colorado Chevy dealer. But you better act fast before the Chevy you want is gone. Benji Molina. What is going on here?
They're having fun, whatever they're doing.
Okay. Molina at the plate to face LaTroy Hawkins. Davis at first base.
Throw over.
He heard you.
Makes sense. A relief pitcher comes in. Make sure that you know that that guy is aware of you over there at first base.
You know, Bonds has been removed from the game. He had a matchup with Serafini. Those two guys went to the same high school. As you look at LaTroy Hawkins' numbers, Bonds went to Sarah High School. Serafini went to Sarah High School. That high school's produced Barry Bonds, Dan Serafini, Tom Brady, Lynn Swan. There's been a couple others I'm leaving off there. This ball's well hit to right. Hop to the edge of the track. Rajay Davis learning that Brad Hopp will throw. And he's got a great arm.
Yeah, he almost caught Davis napping. Really, Willie Upshaw, the first base coach, told him to get back in a hurry.
Feliz, 2 hits and 3 trips, including a solo home run in the 4th. Giants have hit a couple of home runs, actually 3 home runs in the game. Bonds a 2-run home run, Feliz a home run, and Molina a home run. Could very well be Barry Bonds' last trip to the Mile High City as a baseball player.
Tell him what's going to happen next year. He says he wants to play, but looks like it might be over in the American League.
There goes Davis, pitch out, throw to second, and he still steals the ball.
Davis's 20th stolen base on the year. The pitch out does a good job getting out there, making the strong throw. Davis just outruns the baseball, and that's what speed will do, and that's why they got this guy from Pittsburgh. Matsui takes it in perfect position, straddling the bag. Wait for Davis to come in, just got underneath the tag.
One 1-0 on Pedro Feliz. 2-0. That's inside. Oh, okay. I know who I left out. Jim Fregosi went to Sarah High School. And Greg Jeffries, who was a good player for a while in the big leagues. Phillies,
pretty
Mets.
impressive list.
Yeah.
Well, just diversified too, playing a little football, baseball.
Right center field, and this is hit a long way. Off the wall, it'll score Davis easily, and Feliz is going to end up at third with a triple. 5-1 Giants. Pedro Feliz, as he so frequently has done, hurting the Rockies. Triple homer single tonight.
Coming into tonight's ball game, the Rockies had held them in check, 1 for 7, but on the 3-0 count, Feliz goes ahead and swings away and drives it to right center field off the wall. Comes back short, hops Willie, had a tough time off that wet grass, skips by him. Hops there to back it up, but not before Feliz can get to third base.
Vizquel at the plate. A run charge to Serafini, who hit Bonds leading off the inning. Ground ball to Atkins. In the inning, another run for the Giants. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. San Francisco 5 and the Rockies 1. Last year, Wins for Kids raised over $50,000 for the Children's Hospital and the Prater Willie Foundation. This year, with your continued support, Wins for Kids could be an even bigger success. Join the cause. To pledge, log on to ColoradoRockies.com for more information, because when the Rockies win, the kids win as well. Well, in the 8th inning, the Giants will turn to Brian Wilson, hoping to sing them a positive tune, huh?
Boom, boom.
Yeah, well, I tried.
You did try. You tried very hard.
I saw the Beach Boys in concert. I mean, they all had gray hair. When was this? It's been a while.
In other words, not a pretty sight.
Yeah, you know what? It was still fun. Corey Sullivan's the pinch hitter in the 9-hole. And in the top of the order, Rockies were down 5-1 yesterday. As you see, Randy Wynn has moved to left, and Rajay Davis is in center. Down 5-1 yesterday, and they won 6-5.
Well, part of the reason was because of the guy out on the mound. There's some, when he hit your Vittorialba last night, it opened up the chance for the Rockies to tie the ball game up, and they did exactly that.
Well, the Rockies just been outpitched in this ball game. First by Kevin Correa, 6 innings of 1-run baseball, allowed just 4 hits. Walker pitched a clean 7th, and now Wilson here with an 0-2 count on Sullivan. That's the other thing, man. They pounded the strike zone.
Worked ahead all night long.
I mean, really worked ahead. I mean, there has not been the sniff of a walk for the Rockies.
I think the closest they got was maybe the 3-ball count on Hop, and then he ended up striking out.
Well, in case we don't see him tonight, happy 28th birthday to Ryan Spilboards.
That's right.
Strike 3. Sullivan trying to Gary Darling and said, "Are you sure?" There's something to that effect.
Yeah, the slider that Brian Wilson just painted on the outside part of the plate.
Quest Spirit of Service in-game box. Taveras with a base hit. Holiday with a single to drive in the Rockies' only run. Not much.
Nope.
The Giants have 8 hits in the game, but they've hit 3 home runs. There's a strike on Taveras. Rockies since May 21st, when they were 18-27 and seemingly going nowhere. Best record in the National League, 54-39. And to me, the biggest transformation, Jeff, has been that early in the year, really those first couple of months, it looked like the Rockies were hoping to win in games, particularly late. Now you can tell, last couple 3 months, they expect to win.
Well, and that's why they have so many come from behind victories, 41 now, which leads to the National League, but or all of baseball, excuse me. But you can just tell the confidence of the guys, no matter how down and out they are, still have a chance to score runs and win ball games.
And Willie keeps contributing. It's the 3rd time he's been on tonight. 2 hits and also on an error. So with 1 out, Taveras is up there. See if Matsui can throw a base hit out there. Kaz 0 for 3. He struck out twice.
Tuesday, the 18th of September, the Dodgers are in town. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a coupon for $1 hot dogs, sponsored by Hebrew National. You have to be careful if you're Willie going back into the bag standing up, because the top of the bag is wet and slick. Sometimes your foot can slip off that.
Here's the one-strike pitch to Matsui. Stopped raining for a little bit. It's coming down again.
As hard as it was earlier, but just been steady most of the night. Not enough where you have to delay the ball game or call it, put the tarp on, just enough to annoy and make everything wet and damp. After that last foul ball, Cavs looking back at Gary Darling, asking if that was going to be a strike. Nodded his head, yes it was.
Didn't get far enough away from Klesko.
Actually, I think that hit Willie. I'm not sure Ryan got a glove on it. If it comes back, yes indeed, it does hit Willie right in the right leg. Klesko couldn't get his glove, tried to stick his glove in between the legs of Taveras.
He's got his hand also.
Yeah.
And a soft liner to the scalp. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Holiday. Crowd of 23,896. Braving a wet night. It up on the right side. Durham moves over. And the Rockies are done in the 8th inning. Taveras a base hit, nothing else across. 5-1 Giants. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. Top of the 9th inning, the Giants 4 up on the Rockies. We'll tell you about some of the changes in a moment, but first we go to the studio and check in again with Mark Stout. Mark?
Hey, Drew, we hope everyone joins us for the Chevy postgame report. Kind of a quirky game for the Rockies tonight. Jamie Quirk taking over for Clint Hurdle. We'll discuss Captain Hook. We'll discuss. You'll know what we're talking about when you watch the postgame. And Roger Bailey can take him deep just like Barry Bonds. You'll have to stay tuned for that. It's coming up. Back to you.
All right, Mark. Corey Sullivan remains in the ballgame in center field. And the Rockies will take a look for the first time in the big leagues this year at Juan Murillo. Other big league appearance late last year. A no decision against the Braves. 4 innings. He gave up 7 earned runs. And in that appearance, honestly, he looked a little overwhelmed by the surroundings.
Well, and who wouldn't be? But that's when he was starting this year. The Rockies decided he'd be better served as a reliever. Between Tulsa and Colorado Springs, 53 relief appearances, 71 strikeouts, and only 31 walks in 67 innings. And folks, this guy has hit 100, 101, I think maybe 102 a couple times. You can definitely rush it up there. It'll be fun to see the,
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to see. It's going to be fun to see the radar gun.
Well, Murillo's going to see a pinch hitter, Eugenio Velez.
I'm glad you got that name.
I have it phonetically spelled. Can we just call him EV the rest of the night?
Sounds good to me.
I kind of like it. Eugenio Velez.
He's an Eastern League All-Star this year for AA Connecticut.
That's a pretty good jump to the big leagues.
See, there's his name.
And this is his major league debut against Juan Murillo. He fouls it off. Clint Hurdle was talking about Murillo, and based on reports, yeah, he could still run it up there at 100 miles an hour, but he's more effective backing off a little bit and locating, as we've heard so many times. Even with his slider, he's better when his slider's in the upper 80s as opposed to when he throws it in the low 90s. Good start, gets the ground ball to Tulowitzki, and Eugenio Velez is retired in his major league debut.
Well, that's one thing you're going to look for from Murillo, is to be able to locate, use your defense. Sometimes as a young guy you think you have to strike everybody out, but don't forget that the Rockies have the best defense in all of baseball. Go ahead and get them involved.
Ray Durham's 0 for 4. And the fastball on past Ray Durham. Durham is at a ground ball to short, then giving each outfielder a fly ball.
Really looking at his stance, there's nothing different that jumps out at me compared to what he's done in the past. He still holds his hands as high as he ever has, his stride and everything, but it's just not working for him this year. He'll go back to the drawing board this winter, try to reinvent it. Fans, make sure you're ready for this stretch run by visiting your local Colorado Rockies dugout store. The largest selection of jackets, sweatshirts can keep you warm on these September nights, and whatever you need, your dugout store has it all. We'll help you wear the team during the stretch run. Call 303-832-TEAM for store location.
And that fastball's up. It's 3-1. Pitch may have been inside. Durham swung at it, 3-2. Scores from the National League. The Reds earlier today shut out the Mets 7-0 to end the Mets' 5-game win streak. Brandon Phillips hit his 28th for the Reds. Atlanta, the come-from-behind win. They were down in that ball game 8-2 late. And they scored 7 times in the final 2 innings to win 9-8 over Philadelphia. Washington over Florida 6-4. That's fouled off. Austin Kearns is 13th for Washington. Milwaukee beat up Houston 14-2. Jenkins is 20th. Bill Hall is 13th. Corey Hart is 20th. Ryan Braun is 28th. Prince Fielder is 41st. A bunch of home runs 41 for Milwaukee. 41 for Prince Fielder. 28 for Braun. And there's a base hit for Ray Durham off Juan Murillo. So he wins that battle. 1 out, 1 on. And that'll bring up Shearholtz. Cubs and Dodgers still playing. They're going to the 9th inning in Chicago. It's 5-2 Cubs. Ramirez is 20th in that ball game. Aramis Ramirez. 8th inning, Pittsburgh leading St. Louis 8-2. LaRoche is 21st for the Pirates. Paulino is 10th. Rick Ankiel has hit his 7th for St. Louis. What a nice story that is. Yep. It continues to be. 5-4 San Diego leading Arizona in Phoenix. They're in the 5th inning there. The Padres have scored 3 times in the 5th inning. Adrian Gonzalez is 26th. For Arizona, Connor Jackson is 12th. Miguel Montero his 9th.
Gonzalez has found his home run stroke lately.
Yeah. American League, Cleveland beat Minnesota 6-2. Cleveland 23 games over 500. Carmona wins again. 15-8. Well, Scott Baker flirted with a perfect game last time out. This time he loses 8-7. Gives up a slew of hits. 2-1. Oakland over the Angels 6-2 tonight. Detroit beat the White Sox in extras 2-1. Took 11. 2-1 pitch. There's a good heat. Yankees won 10-2 over Seattle. Yankees are now 78-62. A-Rod hit 2 home runs. He's got 48 now. They came in the same inning in the 7th. First Yankee in 30 years to hit 2 home runs in the same inning. And Jose Molina hit his first of the year for the Yankees.
Posada had a night off.
Benji's little brother. Raul Ibanez hit a home run for Seattle. For you Ibanez fans,
he's a good player.
He is a good player, underrated. Yep. Toronto beats Boston, so the Yankees pick up a game 6-4. That came at Fenway. Gloss is 20th. Vernon Wells is 16th. Veritek for Boston is 13th. Fouled off. Tampa Bay.
Where'd they keep it?
Well, you know what? They called off the Dogs. 17-2 they beat Baltimore. They out hit them 22-9. Pena hit 2 home runs. Carlos Pena has 37 big flies for Tampa Bay. Johnny Gomes is 15th. Delman Young is 11th. Texas beat Kansas City 3-2.
Well, let's think about this for Baltimore. In the last 3 weeks, they've had 17 runs scored against them, 30 runs scored against them, and been no hit.
Other than that, it's been a wonderful couple of weeks at the old
big
ballpark.
Leagues, Dave Tremblay.
Strike 3 on Shearholtz at 96 from Murillo with the 2nd out of the inning.
We've seen Juan be able to throw hard, and this is the prime example. But that had a little bit of movement down and into Shearholtz. Just couldn't pull the trigger. Nice location right at the knees. Perfect frame job from Yor Torrealba.
Randy Wynn 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. If you have a break in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason. Rockies will have Helton, Atkins, and Hop, and they'll need others in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing 5-1 to the Giants. Rockies have a little 3-game win streak going. They've won 8 of 11. Padres coming in after a day off tomorrow. You know, this is the first home day off for the Rockies. It's not a travel day in quite some time.
Yeah, beginning of June, yeah. That's so nice to have when you're at home. A lot of times you get some stuff done in the off day. Just a chance to regroup and as you head down the stretch.
That dart at 97. 2 balls and 1 strike on Randy Wynn.
in the stretch, he reminds me a little bit of the way Jose Mesa used to set up. Kind of hunched over just a little bit. Very similar to that style that Jose used last year. Get a look at it from the center field camera. Already leaned over, so you got the back leg so you can drive off it.
To left field, and Matt Holliday will get over there and make the catch. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning as Murillo works a scoreless inning. The Rockies will lead it off with help. They need a rally. Bottom of the 9th inning, and Steve Klein will come on to face probably, well, we'll see. We've seen them do this before, where he faces Helton and then they take him out and bring on Hennessy. They did that in San Francisco.
And Hennessy is warming up in the bullpen. You never know what Bruce Bochy might decide. With the 4-run lead, you could leave him out there.
You know, with a 4-run lead, you're right, because you have Hop 2 doors down.
Yeah.
But again, last week he had Klein face Helton, and then he brought on Hennessy.
And with 2 lefties in the next 3, you could leave him in there to face Atkins. And Klein is their lefty specialist out of the bullpen. Came on in last night's ball game, pitched a clean inning for his 7th hold.
Helton tonight is 0 for 3.
Todd in his career off of Klein, 7 for 24 at .292 average.
Good job by Mark Razum again and his grounds crew, keeping this surface playable through an evening of rain. We've had no delays. Mark's had the phone attached to his ear the whole night. Right now he's telling his forecaster, listen, right after the Rockies rally for 5, I don't care what it does.
Yeah, I can do whatever. I'll get the tarp on at that point.
2-2.
In between every inning, they've been out there going the diamond dry at the plate, on the mound, by the bases.
And this ball left center field, it'll drop. Leadoff base hit for Helton. It started so innocently.
Exactly.
Time for our Sonic Good replay of the ball game. Matt Holliday, driven in the Rockies' only run. He backed to single through the left side. That scored Willie Taveras in the 6th inning. It was RBI number 110 this year for Holliday. Garrett Atkins, fly ball center field, 2 fly balls to right field. Rockies 29-10 at Coors Field since June 2nd. The best home record in the game over that time span. This is back up the middle. Another hit. And Klein yelling at himself right now. And here comes Brad Hop. This is a scary lineup, and it's not just us talking about the Rockies with our natural bias. You talk to Bruce Bochy, you talk to Bud Black, you talk to the managers in the National League West, and this is the last lineup they want to face.
Well, it's top to bottom production, and no telling who it's going to be. Last night, you got it from Brad Hop, couple RBIs. Troy following him, had 3 out of the 6 RBIs for the ball game last night. Just don't know where the production is going to come from.
This will be Klein's last hitter, you would assume.
Brad 3 for 11. against Klein with 3 strikeouts. Just going over how they want to pitch him. Do they want to try to throw the fastball? Do they want to throw the breaking pitch? The sliders to lefty probably 60–70% of the time. That's what his out pitch is. He'll go to it and continually throw it buried away from the hitter, not into their zone.
This ball is pulled fair, and Klesko will get an out at first. So 1 out, runners at second and third, and here comes Bochy to get Klein.
He's going to get his closer, Brad Hennessy.
1 out in the 9th, 5-1 San Francisco. Hennessy aboard when we return. (5-1 San Francisco. Troy Tulowitzki will hit next, and then Ian Stewart has a bat, and Brad Hennessy has the baseball.
He took his 4th loss of the year last night against the Rockies, and his 3rd blown save. He's been 14 of 14 straight closing up until last night's game, and the Rockies got him for the walk-off win. See if they can do it again tonight.
Tulowitzki, 76 RBIs. Second, tied for second among National League shortstops. Jimmy Rollins is driven at 79. He and Khalil Green have 76. And this is to right center field. It'll score 2. And it's a 5-3 ball game. Tulowitzki coming through late. He's done that a bunch this year. Resiliency, resiliency, resiliency.
Well, it's never over until they get the 27th out. And Troy wasn't going to let Brad Hennessy work ahead. He goes ahead and gets on that first fastball that he sees. And it's a high pitch, but notice how he elevates his hands, gets his hands above the baseball, and drives it to right center field, allowing Helton and Atkins to both score. Oh, with 1 swing of the bat now with Stewart coming up to pinch hit.
You got a tie game.
Yep.
High.
Don't think Hennessy's not out there thinking about what happened last night. Same situation. Gave up a couple runs. Already given up 2 runs tonight.
Stewart pops it up to left field. Easy play for Randy Wynn. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Sullivan. Second at bat for Corey. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning and then stayed in the ball game at center field. Ryan Spilborghs will hit the pitcher spot next if Sullivan can keep the game alive. 5-3 as the Giants had a 5-1 lead entering the inning. There's the birthday boy, Spilborghs. Sullivan stays off it. It was out of the strike zone. Ball 1.
Good job laying off that high fastball. That's where Hennessy tried to get you to strike out. Well, with Ryan Klesko playing back and off, Troy can get a little extra further at first base.
This is a line drive to center, but it's going to hang up for Davis, and that's the ball game. Well, the Rockies made it interesting in the 9th, scoring twice. But the Giants avoid the sweep, and they prevail 5-3. Our Gatorade player of the ball game is Kevin Correa, just his 4th start this year. He was terrific. 1 run in 6 innings, struck out 4, didn't walk a batter, allowed just 4 hits. And then the bullpen did a solid job. So the final score 5-3 in favor of San Francisco. Correa the win. Jimenez takes the loss. He's now 3-3. The FSN Live postgame show starts now.